Last month I was invited by Merida to ride with José Hermida, arguably the most successful Spanish cross-country rider of all time. He's best known for his filthy moustache and the 2010 win in the cross-country World Championships, as well as second place in the 2004 Olympics and various other wins throughout his career. It was a pretty surreal experience. I was picked up at about 5:15 in the morning from my home in Bristol, and by 1:30 in the afternoon I was on top of a mountain in the Pyrenees with José Hermida, which was pretty odd, but pretty amazing. I was supplied with a mid-range Merida 96, which is kind of top-end, carbon, cross-country race bike, really steep angles, not the most rowdy bike in the world, but obviously ideal for riding with someone who was far, far faster than me. The bike did have tubes though. It was the first time in a long time I've ridden a mountain bike not set up tubeless, so we're kind of running really kind of alarmingly high pressures. Like an idiot, I forgot my shock pump, and Merida didn't have a spare. I thought I'd just wing it, and I thought I'd get in okay. I didn't, but more on that in a little while. We started the ride by just heading out of town, up some pretty steep roads, then to some kind of choppy fire roads, and then eventually onto some kind of really scary single track alongside this little horrible stream. There was these kind of like concrete blocks alongside it, mixed in with this horrible rooty terrain, and Hermida was just flying away, hopping over, completely no hassle at all, while I sweated away, stressing out about falling into this little stream. Eventually we came out onto this road, we climbed up a little bit. It was quite clear how much the area where he lives means to him. He was telling us all about these hospitals which were set up in the area due to the kind of beneficial qualities of this fresh air, which is maybe why he's just so successful. But after we passed that, we got onto this insane kind of Roman road which was made of these rounded flagstones, and as we were approaching the snow line, kind of ice was developing on these. Going up these flagstones, he kind of skittered about in the ice, and I managed to drop him for like 10 seconds, which was the achievement of the day for me. And then he passed me almost immediately, hopping over some ridiculous boulders, so it was a very momentary success. So after we passed that section, my momentary success, we kind of reached the snow line. It wasn't too bad, the trail was pretty clear, and we descended down the other side of this col. It was amazing. It was kind of this like sunken trough along this like really sandy, quite grippy rock. It was really bermy, you can really go quite fast, and the bike felt great. I felt totally fine in this terrain, and I was almost keeping up with him, which was thrilling. It was so exciting to be behind someone thinking, wow, maybe I could be a cross-country world champion, and then realising almost immediately, as soon as anything technical came, that no, I couldn't, because he was absolutely miles ahead of me. We cycled through this kind of choppy, muddy farm track, and then we began to descend down the col. It was totally fine, it was quite open, you had a good line of sight, and then as we approached the slightly steeper section, José was really keen to just warn us, slow down at this section, which was really quite technical. And obviously I didn't, because I'm an idiot. And as soon as we started going down this steeper section, I was trying my absolute best to keep up with him, and it was so difficult. And as we began to go faster and faster down this section, I braked far too hard. The fork, which I mentioned, I didn't have a shock pump for, dived through pretty much all of the travel, and I flipped over and did a nice triple roll down the hill, bashing both of my hips pretty awfully. Sorry for the foot of my bum. My ego was also pretty bruised. It's quite embarrassing to crash trying to keep up with José Hermida, but quite a memorable experience, so I'll take that. Although I wish I could have had the suspension set up correctly, the bike was actually really nice. It's definitely a very steep cross-country bike, and to get the most out of the area, if I was just there on holiday, I probably would have wanted something a little bit more burly. But for trying to keep up with a cross-country world champion, I was quite happy to have as fast a bike as possible. We were riding in the region between the border of Spain, France and Andorra, and the area was absolutely beautiful. The riding was characterised by these kind of more rolling hills than anything else. The riding was quite accessible. I would jump at the chance to go back to the area, and if José wants to join me, that'd be cool.